And this question that I think is really important is what factors led to your picking your career, but then also your current institution? So anybody, toss up, whoever wants to take it first can take it.
I can go. So, what led to your career? So I was, these days, okay, so this dates me, all right? But I just wanted to do the next thing. Okay, so I was not, when I finished my BS, I was like, okay, I got to do a master's, because I think I was very passionate about learning and about, not knowing what would happen next. Because my family, my dad was the only one who went to college, and he went to college under, circumstances where, he was the only, breadwinner of the family, and had like a younger sibling who was like, was a baby. And so, his situation was went to college to get a degree so he could work and he could support his family. And my mom doesn't have a college degree, so but she has been a teacher all her life. And so for me it was more ingrained that you got to explore further, and education was always something that my family wanted us to go forward with. So yeah, so that's how I ended up from the BS to the MS to the PhD. And then it was like, why stop now? Postdoc, and where are we going? Of course, we're going overseas. So that's what happened. In terms of my specific, getting a job here at Miami, I was applying like everywhere, right? Because for God's sake, I had flown over the Atlantic to come here to do a postdoc. I was not going to restrict myself. And my first year, nothing. I had interviews, but nothing panned out. And then I go to the since I'm a neuroscientist, I go to the Society for Neuroscience meetings, and went to one of these socials, the invertebrate socials. Okay, the invertebrate folks work with spineless creatures. So there I ran into folks who would end up being my future colleagues, and they were like, "Oh, we're from Miami," and I'm in Miami, in Ohio. That kind of stuck. And so that's how I ended up applying to Miami, and here I am. And now when and it felt like home. I think it was like, this is what I had been waiting for. I was, it didn't feel like there was this dark and dreary, I don't know something. I just felt so much at home. I had never in growing up, during my education, I had not done undergraduate research, but here it was an opportunity to get involved with undergraduate research. And so it was just being open, having a passion for education, and kind of just saying, oh, that Miami, I must add that to my list of places I applied to. So that was it.
I can answer too. I mean, I think for me, like I said, it's a little bit different because I have a medical degree as well, and I'm a surgeon. But I really was looking for a place that would allow me to have all of the experiences that I wanted to. So, it's from my little presentation, I do a lot of different types of research. So in addition to my basic science lab, I'm involved in clinical research. I do like retrospective clinical studies. I also do big, multi-center clinical trials. So I wanted a place that had that variety of opportunity. So for instance, to do clinical trials and things, you actually need to have a certain support structure that the university or the medical center has to have. So, for me, I was looking for a place that had the support structure that allowed the clinical research, but then also was going to be supportive of me doing the basic science research, because it's kind of a rarity to be a surgeon and also have a basic science lab. So I was kind of looking for that combination, and that's how I ended up at UC.
Much less interesting. I was just trying to get the heck out of Nova Scotia. Uh, the city was fine to a degree. I was sort of happy, but my wife was very unhappy. My kid was not happy, and I was just applying all over the place. So before coming to Ohio, I was actually going to Norway, and I was even, we were just very unhappy there, and I was trying to get out of there as quickly as possible. And yeah, and Ohio State was awesome. It was Yeah, I also, to the point, and I think that's really interesting, I absolutely broadened my CV sending spectrum during my stay in Nova Scotia. Uh, I should not be unfair to Nova Scotia. It was, it was a small town in Nova Scotia. It's not easy. You guys, well, many of you are immigrants, or you're descended from immigrants or other minorities, and you sort of understand this. But from my perspective, university is a super sheltered space in that way. It's really bad form to be racist in university compared to other areas of society. And these are the areas of society my wife, who's a photographer, had to interact with. So she was in a bad place there. That meant that I was really trying to get out of there. And I broadened my spectrum. I started for the first time sending CVs out to geography departments or things that weren't exactly what I did. And it totally worked. Like the year I got the position here, I got another 2 call for interview and a job offer that I didn't take in geography departments in the US. So I guess this is another good, I don't know, consequence. I don't know if it's a tip, but maybe don't be too specific when you're asking for a job. You never know the surprises that might await you on the other end. I really love my position here. Geography really allows me to do the stuff I do much better than any earth science department would, actually. And I only did it because I was, let's say, semi-desperate.
Yeah, and I can answer too. I think, part of it for me is, having grown up in Arizona for a long time and being in the desert. When I did my PhD in West Lafayette, Indiana, I remember showing up and it was so green, and I couldn't handle how green it was. And so I knew going through, all my studies that I wanted to end up in my career somewhere back in the Midwest. And so, during my time in Berkeley, which is in the Bay Area, I love that area too. It's awesome, a lot of fun, but it's very expensive. And so the concept of starting, I had a family already, so I wasn't starting. I had 4 kids, and so for the balance between my wife's career and mine, the Bay Area, the West Coast, and the East Coast are the only place I got academic offers. It just was going to be really hard to make that happen. And so, had an opportunity to come back to the Midwest, and I like Cincinnati. I think it was a lot of fun, and had visited during graduate school. And so just decided that this was a great opportunity for both of us. Yeah.